Like living and loving, paying the bills, keeping things real, man, you know the deal. But when it's time for me to unwind, I gotta go someplace where the sun can shine. And there ain't no better place than out in the country. There's gold in them hills and I'm gonna find it. It's a sight to see, you can't believe how the color of gold makes you lose control. Well, there's gold in them hills and I've got the fever. And there ain't no other place that I'd rather be.
I go straight from the bank, gassing up the tank, cranking up the radio, playing old Hank, it ain't that long.
Welcome all to once again another Wednesday, March 27th, 2024. Thank you all you guys tuning in. I see some of you guys chopping in there already. I see what's happening today. Today there's only 279 days left in this year, so this year is flying by. See, today is National Scribble Day. National Scribble Day. It's also National Little Red Wagon Day. Say that fast. Little red wagon, little red wagon, little red wagon. It's also National Spanish Perilla Day, National Joe Day. I don't know whoever comes up with all these national things in the day, but man. Anyways, what's happening on this day? 1964, you know, there was a 9.2 earthquake that happened in Alaska. Strongest in history. I'll be darned. I never knew that. Also on this day, 1997, was the mass suicide of the cult Heaven's Gate. Wow, that was a long time ago. I vaguely remember hearing stuff like that. See, if it's your birthday today, happy birthday. You share birthdays with people like Mariah Carey. She's 55, born in 1969. Fergie, she's 49. All right, that's all of that. See, the last will that we did, all them prizes have been mailed. You guys should all have received them by now. We'll do another will next month, maybe do some more prizes and some gold. First, I got to go out and get some gold, though. So stay tuned for that. You can follow on Facebook, so you'll be up to date when all those are going to be. So if you're not a subscriber on Facebook, go subscribe to Facebook. You can follow me. I got my own personal channel there, so you can follow on the personal channel there, too. And, of course, the Gold Fever Adventures Facebook page and the Gold Fever Adventures, where we're at right here on the YouTube channel. And also, we're broadcasting this week to Facebook, too. All right. Summer is here, I think, or it's about here, if not. We've had a lot of rain this year, so the ground for us out here is still a little bit wet, but we're itching to get out there and dry wash. It's starting to dry up a little bit, so that's what we're going to do. Anyway, that's all I got for this part of the thing. Let's see who's in the chat room going on right here. Paul, hello. Dennis, you're second. Hello. David Villa, hello. David Villa. You know, I used to call him David Villa. That's what it says, but it's Villa. I got corrected on that several times. Let's see. Paul, Josh is in the chat room. Look at that. Hello, Josh. Guy Carl, hello. I still got my get out of hell card, Guy. Patty's Adventures, hello. Good evening, everyone. Didn't know I would be getting Spanish lessons too. Okay. Let's see. Richard Duke, hello. Nancy Bliss, hello. So what topics do you guys want to talk about, discuss? Josh says that. That's what we're going to be talking about. Kyle King Prospecting, hello. Terry Curry. Oops, Don G. Oops, dang. I keep hitting the wrong buttons here. Buck Rackley. TJ. Hogs 14 from Northern California. First time here. Well, welcome. We don't hold that against anybody. Dan, hello. Okay, so we do have a guest in the house. You guys probably already know who it is, but I think before we bring him in, I need to, let's run our ad here. Let me find that. Let's do that first, and then we're going to bring in our guest in the house. Okay, hold on, everybody. We'll be right back.
ICMJ, the International California Mining Journal, was first published in 1931, 93 years old this year. Since our first issue, our goal has remained the same, and that is to provide miners with a voice, a marketplace for their goods and services, and to offer expert advice and tips from our knowledgeable writers, miners, geologists, all in the field. We still offer our 12 and 24-month print subscriptions, but keeping up with the times and with our reader requests, the digital online subscription option allows for a simple and gorgeous reading experience using your preferred technology, your phone, your tablet, or computer. Sign up for our print, online, or both print and online at www.icmj.com or call us at 831-479-1500. For our advertising services, both display advertising and classifieds, select the Miners Market section or call us. Happy prospecting.
Happy prospecting. I know you guys all get your copy, don't you, of the Mining Journal. If you don't, for prospecting, I'm telling you guys, it's the best magazine out there for prospecting. It's better than all them other guys out there. So get a copy of that. All right. We do have a guest in here. So that would be Josh himself. Can you believe that? So if you guys got any questions for Josh, shoot them on over. Let's bring Josh on in. Hello, Josh.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Where are you at? You in Northern California or Southern California?
Northern. We're in Grass Valley.
Oh, yeah. Grass Valley?
In the heart of the mother lode.
I was going to say, you're right in gold country.
Yes, sir. In the best country there is.
The best country, not just the best state, huh?
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
For gold, it's the best.
For gold, it is the best. That is correct. Well, there's a lot of gold in California. That is true.
Yeah. You almost can't scan a creek without finding something.
That is very true. I see people say dry washing blows, dredging sucks.
Dredging sucks.
That's one way to look at it. Well, Josh, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody, who you are and all that, in case everybody don't know you.
Hey, guys. My name is Josh Reinke. I'm the owner and editor of the ICMJ magazine, which you just saw the ad for. I also own a company called Reinke Mining Adventures and Services, where people pay monthly or yearly fee to be able to gain access to mining claims in California. Been around for a long time in the industry. I'm 5th generation Nevada County gold miner, and my great grandpa's the guy who taught me how to gold mine and got me into it, and I'm just lucky enough to make my passion a job. So I know I look young, but I got a lot of experience.
Hey, don't feel bad about look, because I look young too, So
yeah, definitely.
We're youngsters. Kyle King prospecting, Roland Sexton prospect.
What's up, Kyle? Dan?
If you guys got any questions you want to know. So what's going on with dredging in California? What's the whole scoop about dredging?
Like from the beginning, or?
Well, we know once upon a time back in the 90s, we could go dredging there, and then all of a sudden they outlawed it, and then they fought forever. And some people say, they brought it back, but the fees are too high. Other people say, no, it's never there. What's really kind of going on with dredging?
Well, so basically, there's a law that was passed called SB 637, and the crappy thing is it didn't just attack dredging. It redefined dredging as the use of any mechanized equipment. Okay, so we're talking pumps, motors, stuff for high bankers, all that kind of stuff, and it's just such a broad description that it basically blanketed almost all mining other than hand tools. And you're supposed to have a permit to be able to do that, but the only place that they'll let you get that permit, which is very expensive, thousands of dollars, is in these very select few areas that they don't think any mining has ever occurred in the past, so it's not an impaired waterway. Well, the problem with that is the reason why there's no mining because there's no gold. So basically, you can go get a permit in an area, which is very, very limited areas, in order to, dredge legally, but you're not going to find much gold most likely because, well, there's no gold there. And that was their whole plan, is basically just to get rid of dredging and mining in general. That's what they want. But there's also, if you guys have ever heard of PLP, or Public Lands for the People, they have this new system out to where they basically they read the laws and figured out a way to I don't want to call it a loophole because it's legal, it's not a loophole. It's basically, all right. So the story goes, there's a lady named Izzy Martin who was the president of the Sierra Fund. And so she's the one who actually wrote SB 637, which is the law that outlawed dredging in California. But once, because she has a project called the Combi Creek Project, where they're actually dredging out there, but for reclamation purposes. And she's getting millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars in grant money to do this. So she's the one who wrote the law, but she left this loophole, which I don't like calling it that, but I don't know what other words to use, to be able to dredge for reclamation purposes. And there's certain things that you have to do in order to qualify to be able to do that, but you can do it without permits. So I would recommend that you all join publiclandsforthepeople.org. If you want to dredge in California. They've been doing it for 3 years now, and not one person's gotten a ticket. We've seen them send threats and stuff, but they don't want to ticket us because they know that they're going to lose in court, and then that would open up dredging in California completely. So basically, you join PLP, they send you a card that tells you what you need to do in order to qualify for this reclamation dredging purpose. Now, the real purpose of it is to clean the rivers, right, of lead, mercury, steel, anything that was left in there from the old-time miners. And that's the purpose of it. But if you're on your own mining claim, then the gold that you find is just a byproduct, and you're allowed to keep that as well.
So somebody asked, does that apply to the private claims as well?
Yep. It can be private land, mining claims, public land, all of it.
Yeah, Paul, we were talking about me writing an article, and you're probably right, Nancy. I can't keep my train of thought long enough. Let's see. Blame Arnold there's probably different things. Let's see. I thought somebody said what caused it, who caused it. Blame Arnold. I thought it had something to do with the Indians or something, didn't it?
Well, so to begin with, that's how it started. The Karuk tribe filed lawsuits against, dredging in California because they didn't like what the new 49ers were doing up there, which they were just legally dredging. They weren't doing anything illegal, but the Indians, natives were upset at it for whatever reason. And so they filed some lawsuits, and then there was a moratorium put on dredging in 2009, which then all these fights came. And then after all the fights, we were almost had it overturned. A judge actually said that, basically it's a scam that the state had come up with to end dredging. But then that was his decision. But then he went to Sacramento and visited some people there and came back and overturned his decision. So, the system is rigged. But the good thing is that SB 637, like I said, was written by Izzy Martin, who was the president of the Sierra Fund. And so she left herself a loophole that I don't think she figured out, I don't think she thought that the PLP guys would figure it out, but they did. And so now dredging for reclamation purposes, once you've done everything that you need to do, which is not that difficult, you have to be a corporation or a partnership, which is a partnership is as simple as just you and a friend making an agreement and having it notarized. And then there's also a certain case law that you have to print out, So once you join PLP, publiclandsforthepeople.org, they will send you a card, and it's not expensive. It's like $60 a year, I think, something in that range. And they'll send you a card that tells you how to do it. And so you do it. There's no permits. You don't involve the government at all. You just dot your I's, cross your T's according to what they tell you to do, and then go dredging.
Cool.
And they've been doing it for 3 years now without a ticket. No tickets.
That's it. So I want to ask you something about that. There, Grasslaw says, what about the law of the 1872 that's supposedly supposed to protect minors?
Well, there's such a thing as case law. 1872 was a long time ago. And there's been a lot of cases that have come up that have worked to this. It took them from 1872 to 2009, which is when the moratorium first started on dredging, in order to do away with it. The 1872 Mining Act, it's a powerful tool, but at the same time, they've really chopped away at it over the years because case law in certain cases turn out bad. And once that happens, and the court can reference a different case and say, hey, well, they made this decision in this court, and it pretty much sticks, Well,
that sucks. Let's see. Who's popped in here? Hogs 14. Stephen Peasley. You on your way back out here, huh, Stephen? Rocky Mountain Prospector. So you have seen, well, so let me ask, so there's a couple of these organizations of PLP. So how come PLP seems to be the one doing that and not the other people? Or is that a question you don't want to get into?
Well, it's a little bit loaded, but I'll tell my story. Basically, people can't get along. People have selfish motives, and some do, some don't, and it seems to be the typical attitude of the gold miner. We're all kind of independent, strong-willed, and so it creates issues with people getting together. One group doesn't want to support it because it's the other group's idea, right? It's really is like that simple.
And that's sad because I do see one group. Well, yeah, I know that is a very low crowd. I see one group trying some stuff and another group just fundraising all the time.
Yeah,
but we won't get into that because that's too loaded of questions.
We gotta represent miners uniting, and that's what all of us need to do. And that's the purpose of the magazine, and my entire goal in all of my businesses is to unite the miners, because if we were all one voice, no matter what side you're on and what group you support, whatever, we should all be supporting miners. Kind of like politically, Republicans or liberals, right? Like we should all be on America's side, right?
We should.
Whether you believe one thing or the other, we should all be on America's side. And same thing with the miners. We should all be on the miners' side, and our goals should be to further open up our possibilities of what we can do and work together to do that. And I hope one day that, that comes to fruition.
All that fighting in Washington and nothing ever gets accomplished because it's just too busy fighting and all that. So until they ever do away with the parties, I guess we're divided. But as miners, Yes, we do all need to stand together.
That's
So,
exactly true.
how long have you been involved with the mining journal?
Almost 2 years. In fact, April 1st, coming up real soon, will be the 2 year mark.
So over time, I bet you then, I just got a personal question here. Do you ever read this stuff and say, oh, I never knew this before? They say you should jump off the mountain sideways and you'll find more gold. And you say, huh, I never knew that. And then you look at the next month and it says, oh, no, you should never jump off the mountain sideways because you could hurt yourself. Do you ever look at that and say, man, these guys are funny sometimes? Or you get so
definitely. And that's the thing about journalism is there is no right or wrong way. There's just opinions, and so we try to stay as non-biased as possible and just present facts on it. And one guy sees facts as something else, and another guy sees facts as a different thing. And so it's and the thing about mining too is I could tell you to do it the way that I do it, which I've found is best, but that might not be the best for you, right? So there's certain ways people run sluice boxes, or they prefer to have a high banker or this or that. And, it's just up to each person to figure out the only way that they do it. Like panning. Almost nobody pans the same. There is not a universal way to pan the best, right? And so it's just information for everybody to figure out for themselves what the best way is. And sometimes the opinions differ.
Are their favorite pan. Yeah. So what's your favorite method of prospecting?
Dredging. Definitely.
So do you get to go out and play like that?
Yeah. Not as much these days. I get real busy with the magazine and the other business. I'm more of a desk jockey these days than I'd like to be. But I still get time to go out and have fun. I've got my spots that I go to and make sure that I get some gold here and there. Scratch the itch.
So let me ask you this question here. The Downeyville has something coming up, don't they? Some Gold Rush Days or something? What's that about?
So basically, we did it last year, and it was a super turnout, super blast of a time. Everybody loved it, and so we've decided to do it again this year. Basically, it's kind of like a regular gold show where you have a big building and you go in there and you buy stuff from the vendors to set up, and just about everybody's been to at least one gold show. So it's like that. But what's different about it is that Downeyville itself is a really small town. There's 3 or 4 hotels in town, so it's a small venue. But what's great about it is that it's like in the heart of gold mining history. And the rivers there are very rich. Some guys found like 4-gram nuggets and bigger at the show last year. So we actually have permission from the guy named Wayne Farnham, who leases these claims, literally claims right in town. And you get to go out there and mine. So also the Comstock group, I forget exactly what they're called, the Comstock gold miners. So Wayne Farnham, he leases these claims to Comstock, and Wayne convinced Comstock guys and himself to be able to let us use those claims during the event. So if you're a registered member, which is only $30 per adult for the entire 4-day event, and then kids are $5. Anyone under 12, I believe, is free. So 12 to 17 is $5, and adults are $30 each. And so you get to go into the gold show where we hold raffles, really good stuff. We've got Keen Engineering that have donated stuff to us last year. They're going to do it again this year. I personally throw in about $1,000 of my own money to buy different things, gold, and just stuff to give away in the raffles. So we've got all that going on. We've got PLP again, the Public Lands for the People.org. They hold a yearly raffle, which is huge. I mean, they give away a mining claim, gold nuggets, silver rounds, trips to Alaska, you know, at some of the mining places up there. And so there's lots of great prizes. They hold that raffle on Sunday at the end of the event. And last year it was so much fun. I mean, that's the thing is normally a gold show, you just walk in a building, walk around, buy some stuff, hang out with your friends, which is great. But the thing about this one is we're all there together for 4 days and just hanging out. You know, once the gold show ends, then we go out and do different things. There's also a place called Discover Downeyville, and they're a nonprofit group within Downeyville who is my co-host on it. Sonia Moline is the lady who actually owns that, along with a couple hotels in town. And she's the only reason this thing happened in the first place, because she contacted me and said, hey, let's do something in Downeyville. I said, okay. So we threw a shindig, and it turned out to be really good. We had at least, 1,000 people just filled the town up. The restaurants ran out of food by 3:00 on Sunday. And so they love us, right? The town loves us. We love the town. If you guys haven't ever heard of Downeyville, California, then I suggest you Google it. It's absolutely beautiful. One of the best places in the world. It's like stepping back to a gold mining town. It's so well preserved of its heritage that it's just an amazing place.
So how can anybody find out more information about this event?
You can go to www.rinkegoldmining.com, and that's REINKE. And I have a section on there where it just shows the flyer and information. Or you can call us at 530-913-1563 and ask for information, and we'll tell you all about it. You know, the biggest thing is because lodging is limited, you want to book your room fast, like right away, because if you don't, then it fills up. And a lot of guys weren't able to go. I think that's kind of a big thing, but we're going to try to provide a shuttle service this time for those who want to just show up for the day, to where they can park right outside of town in this large lot, and then we'll come and run back and forth and bring you guys to and from your car. And that's just for the day, people. But, there's lots of campgrounds around there. If you want to go camping for the weekend, you can drive in 10, 15 minutes is all it would drive. There's also a lot of public land too, where you can just go camp for free, go camp in, hang out, do some gold mining, come into town, see the show. We also have a group called the Nevada Gunfighters, I believe. And last year they did it too. And hopefully this year they're going to be able to. They do this reenactment of a bar fight. And then they actually start it in the bar there in Downeyville. And then they come out into the street and shoot blanks at each other and, do the whole reenactment thing. It's really cool. So we try to make it all about, just people. Like, we want it to be an experience of going back to the 1850s, That's the whole thing is we want to bring you an experience that you can only have at this show.
So everybody that gets the mining journal, I know everybody here in this chat room gets this mining journal. There is a big ad in there on the Downeyville thing that tells you all about the hotels and places to stay and their phone numbers and websites. So all the information is right there, everyone.
Yes, sir. And so last year we actually did pre-registration for it, but this year we've decided not to. So you just show up and, know that there is one ATM in town, but it's not very, it runs dry,
Yeah, real fast.
Yeah. So you're going to want to bring some cash because, the vendors will be able to accept card. I provide internet for them. But if you're looking to register and all that stuff, it's a lot easier to just hand us cash. We still can't accept cards though. And, the $30 per adult covers the entire time. And you get to mine in the creeks, unlimited. Well, rivers. There's the Downey River and the North Fork Yuba River. And you get to mine in those rivers unlimited amount during the whole weekend.
Ooh, Yuba has gold in it.
Lots of gold. Like I said, last year, I know one guy, his name is Jay, and he found a 4.2 point-something gram nugget just sitting on the bank. And then my other buddy, Jared Roundsville, he found some really nice looking stuff. I know another guy who literally just walked up to the river's edge and looked at gold sitting in the bedrock and picked it up during the event, not just throughout time, but during the event. So there's nothing out there like it, you know. What other gold shows provide you rivers to mine in while you're there?
I don't think any of them. Yeah.
No.
Let's see. Adrian's there. Grasshopper says, "Oh, you can still dredge back in Carolinas." Yeah, but you guys are all in a different system back there. David, blue lead. Blue lead is what the old timers used to chase. The blue lead clay. MG Toe King, Kyle King, Dan. I'm just seeing all these people. Ray J.
Yeah, see, they all know. Kyle and those guys, they know North Fork is loaded. There's great gold there. You know, it's not just a place to go and screw around and find a little bit of gold. You can seriously find some really good gold at this event. And
Rocky Mountain says, "Isn't that after the gold hunt or the nugget hunt there?"
I don't know anything about a nugget hunt. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure exactly when they're doing that. You're talking about Tim McMasters and those guys, their nugget hunt. I don't know their dates this year, but yeah, it's around the same time.
Okay. Rubber Ducky Prospecting. Welcome, man. There's a lot of prospecting people here. Hey,
Good.
and that makes sense. We're prospectors.
That's the way it should be.
Have you ever thought about doing anything out in Arizona?
Oh, I'd love to. In fact, I almost bought a couple claims out there recently to add them into my group for people to access, you know, but it was just a bit out of my budget right now. But that is a huge goal of mine. In fact, Oregon and Arizona are the next two states that I'm going to start getting into.
Well, hey, here we are. I've got the perfect place for you right here.
Where are you at?
In Arizona.
Well, no, but what part?
I'm about I'm 42 miles from the California border.
Okay.
Of Life.
Okay, so you're close to Quartzsite in that area.
Yeah, I'm about 20 miles from Quartzsite.
See, what I need is actual claims that I own there so that I can put them in my group for people to access. And then once we grow to a bigger amount of people that actually live there, then we could start doing outings and stuff at your place, you know.
Perfect. I got claims, man. I would sell you some claims.
Let's do it. Talk to me later about it.
Yeah, a lot cheaper than what some of these other people would do. And not to mention, I could go file you some claims that would be even
See, that's
cheaper.
what we need. That's what we need is just get a couple good claims out there. And once we've got them, you know, then I can open them up to the group. We create a good base of people that actually live in Arizona. And then once that happens, we can start doing outings and, you know, do the whole thing, expand out to Arizona. Because with my group, we do monthly outings here in California during the summertime. And sometimes we rent out entire venues. Like there's this place called Willow Creek Campground. And we'll rent the entire place out just for our outing. We hang out there and mine in the creek within the campground, which has got some really good gold in it. And, you know, we just love doing that stuff. I mean, the outings to me are the best experience because we don't just hang out and have fun and, you know, just do what we do.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Let's see. I just saw. What did I just see it at? Hi, Josh. Banshee Mining. I thought I saw a question in here. Somebody. Let's see. Where'd it go? I remember the question now. Where did the question go? Let's see.
I got one. David Villa says.
Give us the actual dates.
Yeah. So the date of the Downeyville Gold Rush Days is August 1st through the 4th, which is the first weekend. So the 1st is a Thursday, 4th is a Sunday. And, you know, like I said, you're going to want to get your own lodging somewhere. I mean, even if it's totally packed, you could come get a hotel room here in Grass Valley, which is only about an hour drive away. So there's other places too when the town gets packed where you can stay. The Willow Creek Campground, again, it's only about 20 minutes away. That's another place you can book. So because that's the biggest problem with it is number one, parking. Number two, it's such a small town that the hotels can only fit so many people. So we got to kind of have people expand out and drive in and out for the day. But if you get on it right now, I know that they've got a lot of rooms open still because we just started advertising for it since we set the dates real recently.
Yeah. So, I'm doing 3 different things here. One, what did I see? Rubber ducky prospecting. So, yeah, people are chatting to me on the texting there, and let's see. Terry says evening. So right here, there's camping here. So you got campsites to be here. You've got buildings to hold the events in, and all of that, and you got nearby claims. Perfect.
I mean,
right here.
Literally, the claims are right in town. You could go grab a burger and walk 20 feet and start panning.
That'd be
They
awesome.
run right through town. And like I said, if you haven't been to Downeyville, Google it, look it up, check out, the pictures and stuff. It's amazing, amazing piece of history.
Paul says, what RV parks are there? Paul, in the Mining Journal, it lists them all. I saw.
There's a few. I would recommend the Willow Creek Campground. It's about 20 minutes away, but they've got full hookups. Really, really nice spot. Owners are super nice. They're good friends of mine. So the Willow Creek Campground in Camptonville. I believe that Sierra City also has a place. I want to say something about RV Sky Park, or I'm not 100% sure. But Sierra City is only 12 miles past Downeyville. It's also another really cool old mining town full of history. So there's a few RV places. Also, I have very limited space for people with RVs. You can contact me, but there'll be no hookups. I get permits through the forestry. They have a parking lot that is a trailhead there. And I get permits to be able to park and camp in that area. And so, that's very limited. We mainly reserve it for vendors, but if there is room and you don't mind being self-sufficient without hookups, then we could probably work something out for a few of you.
Banshee Mining says Downeyville River Inn is booked. Yes, Rocky Mountain, you'll have to stay afterwards and attend this event, especially if you guys anybody up there close to that area or plan to be up there. It's, definitely something to go to the gold show and go play in the water.
Yeah. And only for $30 for the whole weekend. It's a great deal.
Yeah, that's what we don't have here. We don't have water here.
That's why I could never live there. I love my trees.
Yes, and I love my dead brown crap. I love my heat. You guys get that green stuff. You guys get, well, I shouldn't say that because I'm going to say you guys get all the bugs there with the green stuff, but we get bugs here too with the brown stuff. So I guess
your bugs are nastier. They're bigger and grosser.
Well, just the snakes.
Tarantulas.
Yeah, they don't hurt you. Just the scorps and the snake. The snakes are what you really got to watch for. That's the only thing you got to watch for.
Well, we've got them too here, just not quite as often, I don't believe.
Man, yeah, you got timber rattlers up there.
Yeah, I've got a couple different breeds of rattlesnake.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, so they're talking about something different there. So on this event, people, I guess they don't dredge or nothing there in the water unless you're part of what you're saying with the PLP and the permits and that.
No, the people who own the claim say basically no mechanized means, hand tools only. You can, I'll have to look into it and ask them. They may allow small electric stuff, like if you had a real small sluice box or a high banker that's electric, they may allow that. But otherwise it's basic hand tools, and sniping is really great out there. If you're a sniper, then that's where you want to start doing. You can find some big gold in those cracks out there.
Best mini gold trommel. Hey, well, you better plan to be bringing me one. He planning to make a trip to Arizona to deliver some trommels in April. What are the regulations in regard to electric and hand-powered trommels?
Say what?
What's any regulations to electric and hand-powered trommels?
In California?
Yeah,
Or during the event?
during your event there. I'm assuming.
Electric, most likely not going to fly because it's just too big, you know. But if you have a hand crank trommel, then there's no problem with that. You know,
Or what
and
about?
a lot of it is that because this thing is in town, you know, in a lot of places you're actually like there's houses and buildings and stuff all around you. So we want to make sure we're very respectful of the people that actually live there in Downeyville. And that's the reason why we have a little bit of tighter restrictions on it. But like I said, there were some guys out there that were just metal detecting the bedrock and they found killer gold. Also, you know, lots of good stuff going on with the snipers. And then some guys were just running sluice boxes. They found really good gold. And the great thing about it is that this specific area, because it's normally closed off to miners unless you're a part of the Comstock group, then it's just not worked hard at all for the last 100 years. And, you know, they used to have some dredges and stuff out there in the 80s and 90s and a little prior to that. But they would have to, there's a law in Downeyville that dredging in town, you had to actually use a electric dredge, which so not many people followed through with that. So, you know, there's tons of gold. Plus you get these good winners like we had last year, this year, the year before. And those just bring in new gold and uncover new gold all the time.
That's what I was just going to ask on this this last winter. I don't know what you guys had, but is the water higher? You know, like now the water's receding, or is it opposite?
Well, right now, especially since we're getting some of this rain, like it's raining here today. But right now the rivers are up pretty high. They're not up as high as they're gonna be because when they get real high, say, you know, next month and the month after, it's because all the snow starts melting once it warms up, and then the rivers are up and very dangerous too. Lots of people lose their lives to jumping into the rivers around here every year. You know, but in August when we have the show, that's far enough along to where it'll be just fine. And this winter's nowhere near as bad as last winter. So
okay, so the water then will be fairly down because the dates.
It'll be real nice, perfect swimming. You know, we'll just cruise around and have no problems. And that's another big reason why we do it in August is because
of the 1st through the 4th.
Of the water.
Okay. I don't know why I kept thinking April for some reason but August.
Nah.
August. Okay.
Yeah, April would be ridiculous.
Yeah, I know I've gone dredging in Colorado. Somebody had to claim up there, and the water was high and couldn't get out into it, so I had to suck from the bank.
Yeah, and that kind of sucks because a whole lot of bending over, you know, hurts your back after 10 minutes.
Yes, Terry, we already talked about that. Josh, you need to push Jack to write a few articles for the Journal. You guys may not like the articles I write for the Journal. You know what I always thought about? Here's what I need to do, Josh. Here's a perfect plan, man. Let's start a thing in the Mining Journal where I will test equipment and people run will run the ads and stuff like that on testing the equipment.
Yeah, that's kind of my job.
Okay.
You know, because I want the perks that come along with
it. Yeah, that's what I want too.
I know. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll take that myself, though.
Okay. Did anyone see Dave Turner's show last night? We're finding a nugget every couple seconds. Think it was. Yeah, them shows are all scripted.
I actually filmed with Dave Turin for that show.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they put me in or not. Kind of looks like they might have cut me out, which whatever. That's the way it goes sometimes. But it was pretty realistic. That show is not scripted at all. because I filmed with him specifically, and there was no script.
Well, they're saying they found $1,600 worth of gold in an hour.
You know, I did see the first show they put out, and I think that their estimate of what the gold is worth is pretty high. You know, so that part of it, I believe they kind of a little bit of a white lie going on there. Because
well, we know sex sells, and so does gold sell.
Yeah, to us for sure.
Yeah, so,
and you know the good thing about those shows is they're bringing in a whole new breed of people that would have never even known that you could mine. You know, and that's why I really respect Dave and what he's doing in his show this time. Is he's doing a super good job about showing what it's really like for us people, us small scale miners that are still out there doing it. And a lot of people don't understand that you could just still go panning. You can still find gold. Most people think, oh, it's all gone, or you know, just don't know how to get started. And that's a big part of what my mining group is all about, is getting new people involved, which is not only good for the community, but it's good for, you know, the economy and those people themselves to get a great, it's, I don't want to call it a hobby. I never call gold mining a hobby. It's a way of life. You know, hobbies don't pay you money for the most part. But not usually, unless you're a gold miner. What are you looking for?
I had, but I guess I don't have. Oh well. The okay. I was going to say all these metal prices right now. Everything is down right now for some reason. Biden must be talking again. Gold right now is at 21.89. Silver's at 24. Huh?
21.89 is not down.
Well, it changed minus $5.80 from its last update. It's dropped. But that's what I meant when I say
that's
all
so
the pressure.
Great.
Oh no, it's great on that, and it was over 2,200.
Yeah.
But right now it's down. I mean, all the markets are down right now.
That's normal. It's just resetting itself. But the thing is I believe $2,000 is now our bottom. You know, our bottom used to be 1,600 to 1,700, but I don't think we're going to see gold go below $2,000, at least as long as this current administration is in power. You know,
we may never see it go below 2,000 again.
I don't believe so.
It goes up, drops, goes up, drops, goes up, drops.
Yeah.
It's constantly going up.
Exactly. So that's a good thing, is we got a new floor at about 2,000 an ounce.
Well, how come? Let me ask you this: how come once upon a time platinum was of the top group above gold, and then it like reversed? What happened?
That I don't know. I have noticed it though. Platinum used to be crazy expensive. You know, yeah. I don't know the numbers, but I think it was over like 10,000 an ounce at one point.
Well, it used to be a lot more expensive than gold was.
Yeah. And so I'm not exactly sure what happened. I could speculate, but, you know, it's not worth anything.
I mean, platinum right now is only 904.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
And it used to be really, really high up.
Also, crude oil is up 81.74. So
you can blame
oil
that
goes
on
up, gold goes down.
Yeah. Well,
I've always said when it's down, Biden's talking, so he's lying. So everybody's, anyways.
I'm with you.
See, same reason why the gold silver ratio is so different. Unless, I don't know. It's hard to speculate. All I know is that when shit hits the fan, you're going to want gold to buy anything or to do anything, because gold is traded worldwide. We'll take your gold, but we ain't taking your dollars. So,
you know, that's the great thing about the businesses that I'm in, is that they're basically recession proof. You know, we've got bound copies of the ICMJ starting from 1940 all the way to 1995, I believe. It's where it's just a book for each year. Here, hang on real quick.
Gold bullets. That's right. Okay. He
All
answered
right,
that.
so we've got, this is the California Mining Journal from 1980. You can see how thick it is. It has every issue written in 1980 here in the book. So it's basically just a bound copy. Now in the 80s, there was a large, recession. And so this one, 1984, you can see how much thicker it is. By looking at these bound copies, you can almost see it's like a representation of the way the economy goes. And so when the economy takes a crap, the mining journal does a lot better. And that's the good thing about gold mining related businesses is we're on top, I mean, they still do good when we're not in a recession, but once we get into a recession, it just gets better and better because everybody turns to gold.
Huh. I had some old mining journals. They're back when they were yellow. I thought I had them right here. What's cool about what I like about them old magazines is you go look at the old magazines and you see what equipment the advertisers had back in those days and what has withstood the time. What has continued on, what has died off, what has been popular. So
it's super cool. And it's like the day of the quack, there were a lot of mining equipment quacks too. People that would just come up with these crazy ideas, crazy inventions that didn't really work. So it's cool to kind of like see those things that have phased out. I've looked through a lot of our old magazines. You can see them behind me, those shelves right there. Those are full of magazines starting from the beginning till now. So we also have a library here where you can't check them out, you can't take them, but you can come hang out with us here in the office and read through as many of the old issues as you like.
So, Mountain Man Adventures, welcome. Do you still can people still purchase the older mining journals?
Depends on how many we have in stock. But real old ones, 40s, 50s, 30s, no. We only have 2 of each of those. But starting in, I believe, the 80s, we have a few more than that. So once we get down to 2 of each issue, I'll stop selling them. But, sometimes we'll have someone get a hold of us and like, hey, my dad was in the magazine back in, 1987. Do you have that sitting around? Can I get one? And if we do, we'll sell it to them. And it's not super expensive. They're like $10 for the older ones, because they're older and rare. But newer back issues are quite a bit cheaper. You can buy an entire year's worth if they're recent for about $25, $30 plus shipping. So we do sell. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, do you buy people's got stacks of old ones laying around? Do you buy them?
A lot of times people like that will donate them to us. Of course, I accept those and put them up on the shelves. And if people later on want to purchase them, if I have enough, I'll sell them out that way. I've actually gone into eBay and found old issues that we were missing on our shelves and bought some of those just so I could have a couple on the shelf. So I have bought some. And if somebody's got a good price for me and it's stuff that I don't have much of, then I'll purchase them.
Okay. No Nugget Brain. I talked to him the other day. He said he was going to be in here, but he's not. So Roland says, can you copy them if we're in the office?
Yeah, I don't care. Sure. I mean, take pictures or, if you want to use our copy machine, you got to pay for the ink and the pages, which I don't know how much that would be, but I wouldn't try to make money on it. Just get it out there to you in a way that doesn't cost me money. But I won't do it for you. You got to come in and do it yourself.
There's Nugget Brain. He's here. All right, Minute Man or Adventure, Mountain Man Adventures. Your last night in Arizona, you're heading back to Canada. I know you guys got to get back there. You can't be gone more than 6 months. So hey, have safe trips back, buddy. We'll see you next year. Okay. He's lurking in the background. Cool the mundo. Huh. Interesting. Seeing how all this stuff works here. On I said we're broadcasting also to Facebook, so I'm just kind of seeing stuff, seeing how weird this is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
it can be a lot to keep track of.
So you like Gold Cube, I can tell, huh?
I love Gold Cube. Yep. I love Mike too. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's talked to him. He said he stopped by and see you.
Yeah,
now
I see Mike so often.
I can see the Gold Cube in the background. What's that woman's face I see over there on the other side in the background?
That one?
Yeah.
That's my daughter Claire. She's just sitting there hanging out.
No, she's not moving at all if it is.
Oh yeah, she's not moving. She's just sitting there on her little computer, you know. Come say hi, Claire.
Okay.
She's gonna come
she
say
is
hi.
moving. Oh, I thought it was like just like a doll's head or something.
I'm not big on doll heads.
That's okay.
This is my daughter Claire. Everybody say hi. Say hi, Claire.
I just saw the head and I thought like it was one of those things that you put a wig on or something.
Nope.
I never saw it moving, so I thought you had a doll's head back there.
Definitely not the case.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Everybody say bye, Claire.
Yeah. Goodbye there. Okay. Let's see. Okay, you guys are all there. Yes. Yeah. Back to the cold and snow. Well, have fun out there. Just listening. Don't have to tell everyone I'm here. Okay. See, they're all saying hi, Claire. Look at that. All right. So,
In the chat room.
so Gold Cube, what's that blue sloosh?
That's Robinson Enterprises. They make these drop rifle sluices, and they're only like $45. So it's really light, easy. You know, it weighs nothing. So it's just a way to get a bigger sluice that's not crazy heavy. You know, and they work pretty well. I like them.
So those are the stuff that you're testing out?
No. So we just moved offices. I had a different office, which is only 2 buildings down the way, and just wasn't the right situation for us. So we moved up here, and things aren't put together still yet, but we actually do have some mining supplies for sale. So that's what you're seeing back there.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Patty's Adventures. Oops.
There
Patty's
you go.
Adventures.
See? Got all the stuff
okay,
up on
yeah.
the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not a whole bunch of stuff, just, you know, a little bit to get the beginner started, basically.
So Patty's Adventure says your daughter is a cutie, Josh. Oh, okay.
Thank you. I agree. She's amazing.
Patty just wants some brownie points. What do you want, Patty? You got it. I know what you want. You want me to. She wants me to wear my hat. She misses it when I don't wear my hat. Or I know she misses. She never mind. Let's see. Mark.
I got that right away. Not sure too many other people did.
That's good. She got it. Mark, hello, welcome.
Hi, Mark. I got some of those too.
Yeah. So we've been going out, up in my favorite place has been going up in the Meadview, Arizona border up there by Nevada, Lake Mead, getting into meteorites.
Oh, sweet.
So I've been watching on the show these meteorite hunters. Remember them when they would go out and meteorite hunt?
Oh yeah, no, I'd love to do that. They're worth so much money too. I mean, if you actually find a decent one, you're
mine ain't decent.
It's a jackpot.
But they're up there. But so I was watching these meteorite hunts. So I've been up there quite a few times, and I don't know, probably some of the biggest ones that I've found. But anyways, and they're down in the ground. Some of them could be down 18 inches or something. Well,
Are
they're
you metal
walking along the
detecting
ground
them,
and
or-
picking them up.
Really?
And I'm thinking, you guys are full of crap. Come on.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never been meteor hunting, but it's, gold miners, we're all treasure hunters. It doesn't matter what the treasure is, we want it. So I'd love to go do some meteor hunting. That's something I'd love. I'd also love to go find some opal. My wife loves that stuff. That's something she really wants to do. Go do some opal finding.
Patty says I'm bad. I'm not bad. You know what they say, when I'm bad, I'm good.
That can be good.
Mark, what's he saying? Nancy says Mark is the man. Pay attention. Okay.
What's this guy? Roland Saxton, prospecting exploring. Hey friends, I picked up an older Keen 140. Do any of you guys recommend installing the blast gate or bump stops? Talked to Mark yesterday. He said the blast gate is all he'd do. That's sounds like it's old enough for me not to know what you're talking about.
Well, let's see. Hey friends, I picked up an older Keen 140.
Is that a dry washer?
Yeah, the 140 is a dry washer.
That's why I don't
I'd
know.
recommend installing the blast gate or bump stops. Talked to Mark yesterday. He said the blast gate is all he'd do. I didn't know the 140. 140 never had blast gates, or the 141S. I mean the 140. Oh, the 140. Okay, that's the smaller one. Yeah. The one smaller one, yeah, you pretty well got to use the bumper stops and the blast gates on the back. You only run about halfway open. But what's important about both of them, the 140 and the 190, you got to lift that front end up. The front end's got to be lifted up a few inches, or you're definitely going to lose gold. Because the sluice box is only 12 inches long in that 140, and it's such a steep angle, it's just flying everything right off of that. So yeah, you definitely got to lift it up. But I would use the blast gates halfway open and bumpers on there just to transfer the vibrations. So I have one of them little ones.
Dry washing is not my thing, because
Jack,
I'm not in the desert.
Gold Ear 2 near quartzite. Gold Eye 2? No, I am not, Paul. Gold Eye 2. I am not. Opal hunting would be fun. Opal mines in Idaho. No, I called him and asked if I should upgrade it, but he said just put the blast gate in. Oh, you don't have blast gates on the back? Well, then, okay, because you've got the older one. I see. I got you then. Okay. Well, then, sorry.
Just buy the new 140s.
Yeah, you've got an older one then. I guess the old ones didn't have the gates on the back. That's all he would do. By the new 140S. Yeah, okay. Gotcha. An older one. It'll still work. Any dry washer will work. They're all designed to capture gold. Any piece of mining equipment will work. They're all designed to capture gold. Hell, the old timers just used burlap sacks and they were capturing gold. They lost a lot, but they were still capturing gold.
Yep.
Oh.
Burlap works really well, I'll be honest. I've actually used burlap in place of carpet in a sluice box, and it was great. And the cool thing about it too is once it kind of falls apart, gets whatever, moldy or whatever after a while. Then you just take it, burn it in a metal pan it out, and you'll find some more gold. Burlap is a really good replacement for carpet.
Yeah. Jennifer Baum, buy the 190B done with it. I remember my dad, he used to work out at Kennecott Mines there in Utah. And he was telling me this story one time that years and years ago, there was a guy that would come in because they lined, I guess, whatever it was with these old burlap sacks. And there was this old guy that was coming in and he volunteered to wash them out for him and all that when they were done. He would wash them for him and give them all back to him. And they really thanked him for cleaning them up like that, until it took a long time to realize what he was doing.
Well, yeah, hey, a service needs to be paid.
Yeah. Getting the gold out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just bought the 190, so I can't buy another brand new one yet. I have the 190, but I need a smaller one to go testing. I'll sell you mine. I'll sell you mine, Roland. You can come and get my 140 if that's what you want. All my equipment's for sale. Everything I have is for sale.
For the right price.
Yeah, that's it. Everything's for sale. I like to rotate, so like I may buy, anyways, no, I can't tell you guys my secrets, but I love playing with equipment. I love mining equipment. I just do. I love playing with it, testing it, beating the shit out of it. I've had calls from manufacturers that ask me what the hell I'm doing. But, well, I'm playing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's about 10% of the fun of gold mining is just being able to walk out your garage and see all the crap you got. It makes you feel good. It's like collecting almost.
Yeah, I think people like to see an honest review of stuff, because there's a lot of stuff out there, and do a test on the new Keen Trommel. Well, it's not new, but yeah, Adrian, I know.
Those are amazing, by the way. They work so good. I've used one. Also, the new Keen A52S, which has that screen that goes over the top of it.
Yeah.
You can run that thing without classifying. Obviously, you can't throw rocks in that big or anything. But I've got one of those, and I've been using it lately. I love it. It works so good. You can run so much more material with that thing versus just a regular Keen A52. And the A52s are still great. If you get enough water flow going, you don't have to classify with those either. But the A52S with that screen just slows everything down, gives it time to break up before it goes out. Keen sluices to me are the best there is.
Oh, Keen products more likely are probably about the best. But you got to have water to run those.
Yeah. Wow.
Paul wants to know, which detector do you use?
I've got a MineLab Monster 1000, and I also have the Garrett Axiom, which I really like the Axiom. And the 24K too, which is Garrett's version of the Monster. The thing about those, though, is it takes a lot more learning. The Monster, you just kind of turn on and start using it. But once you learn how to use the Axiom or the 24K, it's a better machine. It truly is, but it takes more work and more knowledge. You have to really get into it and understand what the settings are for. So if you're looking for something to just, go plink around with for $1,000, then, the MineLab's probably the better choice. But if you want to get serious about it, find deeper gold, then the Garrett Axiom is actually a really good detector for the price. It's about $4,000. And it pretty much keeps up with the MineLabs that are, 8,000 to 9,000. Not quite. I'm not saying it's a better detector than those. But for the price, you get it for half the price, and you get 3/4 of the detector.
No, Nancy, I don't have 3 of everything. I'm downsizing. I've always said that, my machines that I use an Equinox for kind of treasure hunting, a Gold Monster for quick sampling, and I like my 6,000 for gold hunting. I had a
6,000 is such a great machine. You can't go wrong with that.
With the 6, what I don't like about the 6 is it's very EMI sensitive, and any type of close to EMI, sometimes it won't shut up, and that's its downfall.
And that's the thing with the Monster too. You get on some hot bedrock, you're not going to find any gold. It's just
yeah.
And that's why the Garrett's so good, because you can tune a lot of that stuff out.
Absolutely, and that's what I say with the Gold Monster in the 6,000. It's mostly automatic, so you turn it on and go. And what you have to do, if you get hot rock, 6,000 won't. It'll still pick up hot rocks, but not like your monster. You got to turn that gain so far down on your monster, you're really losing sensitivity on the depth. So you're not.
Yeah, you only get 2-3 inches at best. You know,
yeah. Where your 24K from Garrett, that used to be White's when they bought out White stuff, and that was a decent machine. You know, same with the Gold Monster 2. The Gold Monster 2 is a better machine than the the Gold Bug 2 is a better machine than the Gold Monster, but it has a higher learning curve where you can.
And not only that, but you spend most of your time making manual adjustments on the Gold Bug 2, you know, and that's why it's a pain. And you got to be a freaking genius to run the thing.
Well, that's why the Mind Labs are so popular, but people that know me here know that I don't like the Mind Labs. So
well, I like Mind Labs, definitely. Love them for the turn it on and go aspect. That's very nice.
Yeah.
You know, but the Garretts, like I said, they've got a bit more, well, a lot more capabilities of changing adjustments. Huge learning curve. I'm still way far behind, not an expert with them. But I've found that, especially the Axiom, I really like it. It's a really great detector.
Yeah, no, my 6,000's paid for itself. My Monster's paid for itself. My 7,000, I had to sell it, so it paid for itself when I sold it. That's the only machines that's paid for themselves. I would like to use Garrett a lot more. I've kind of talking to Garrett Wayne, so I did call him Wayne and did talk to him on Garrett. I'd like to see Garrett maybe do some supporting here, and then I would like to support them.
Well, get a hold of Steve Moore. He's a great guy.
Steve,
yeah,
he's the one in charge of sales there, right? I mean, he's in the head one, yeah. So I've kind of I didn't talk. I sent him an email though, and I talked to Rusty. It was there.
You know, they're really trying to get the Axiom out there. It's because it's a great detector. I recommend it. And so I know that those guys are really trying hard to sort of break into that market more. They've done a really great job at it over the past couple of years.
I used it once. I'm a Garrett dealer. I sell everything except Mind Labs. That's why I say I don't like Mind Labs. They won't give me a dealership, but I sell all the other machines. So anyway, so that's why I say if they would work with me, I'd love to promote them a hell of a lot more and do videos and
get
stuff
a hold
like
of
that.
Steve, man. He'll do you good. Steve's a great guy.
Well, when you talk to him, tell him I'm a great guy too.
I can give you his contact info as well.
Okay. Let's see. That's an area we go too much. Black sand, the 6,000 Gold Monster just screams. I like Keens over everything else out there. Very good. You pee. What? Very good. You pee. What? You can. What did you go say? You piece of. So,
what are you calling me?
I'm saying I told him that you told me to call him, and he said he hasn't talked to you in a long time, but he said thank you for the recommendation and all that stuff. And then he told you something about piping sand or something. I don't know what he meant by that. No, he didn't say that.
It's about bathroom break time for me.
Oh, you got to take a bathroom break? How long we been talking? Oh, we've been talking long enough. We can end things off here. Is there anything? Yeah, sure. Anything you want to wrap things up with? We just started getting off topic here and going crazy.
You don't have to wrap it up. Just give me 2 minutes to go take a whiz, and I'll be right back if you want.
Let me find a commercial or something I can play then while you're gone.
I know of one.
You want to play that again? Okay, we'll play that again. Okay,
I'll be right
take
back.
a break, Josh. We'll see you back in a few moments. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back.
ICMJ, the International California Mining Journal, was first published in 1931, 93 years old this year. Since our first issue, our goal has remained the same, and that is to provide miners with a voice, a marketplace for their goods and services, and to offer expert advice and tips from our knowledgeable writers, miners, geologists, all in the field. We still offer our 12 and 24-month print subscriptions, but keeping up with the times and with our reader requests, the digital online subscription option allows for a simple and gorgeous reading experience using your preferred technology, your phone, your tablet, or computer. Sign up for our print, online, or both print and online at www.icmj.com or call us at 831-479-1500. For our advertising services, both display advertising and classifieds, select the miners market section or call us. Happy prospecting.
Well, hi, this is Tom Baudet. I'm proud to be part of the Gold Fever radio program, and, well, you should too. We always get out and find a little bit of gold. Sometimes it's a lot, well, sometimes it's just a little. But all in all, we have a lot of fun. Come join us for one of our Gold Fever extravaganzas. You'll be glad you did. So until next time, I hope you get out and find a lot of gold. And remember, I'll keep a light on for you.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Our guest, Josh, here he is right there in the house.
Almost.
Let's see. What do y'all want to know? Ask some questions, Josh says.
Yeah, let's open it up to some questions here. Don't be shy.
ICMJ, baby. That's right, Jennifer. You tell them all about it. Run an ad, LOL. Thank you, I did. Okay. Do you think Mine Lab Vanquish 440 will locate nuggets out behind Dolan Springs? Yeah, if it's big enough, all detectors will pick up gold if it's big enough, the gold big enough. But it comes to being how sensitive the machine is and what frequencies it's running on. Other than that, it'll all pick up gold. Hell, the Boy Scout detector, I've seen Boy Scout detectors pick up gold nuggets, as long as they're the size of your fist and they're on the surface.
Vanquish is a cheaper detector. Like, if you're solely looking for gold, I don't recommend that detector. You need to spend a little bit more money, get yourself either the Garrett 24K or the Mine Lab 1000. Anything below that is just not going to be very sufficient for finding gold. You could go with the gold bugs too. They're quite a bit cheaper, but don't get just the regular gold bug. You got to get the gold bug too. But again, huge learning curve. You have to be a genius to run those things. It's pretty difficult.
Yeah. Tesoro, they were decent detectors. Tesoro's were made in Arizona, so they were perfect for out here. But yeah,
I've heard a lot of really good things about Tesoros. Before the Monster came out, a couple guys that I know that are basically professional metal detectorists would use the Tesoro logo as their VLF, and then they would use the Mine Lab as the PI. But Tesoros seem to be very good detectors.
Yeah. All the detectors, I mean, they're all, the main thing is whatever detector you have, you just really got to know your detector. I've known somebody that uses that Equinox 800 with the smaller coral, the 6-inch coral, and he finds the smallest things just like a gold monster does. But he knows his machine. He's got it dialed in. And that's the main thing. Just use that machine and dial that machine in. And of course, it has to kind of, the Equinox does have a gold setting on it. The Vanquish isn't really made for gold. So it's got to be somewhat of a gold machine. But then
what's Grease Monkey saying?
Just know the machine.
That's true. That's the best way. That's what it's all about, is knowing the machine. And there's some really great
of all nuggets in Nevada, Arizona, which would it be? If you had to pick one detector for nuggets in Nevada, Arizona, which would it be? I'd
probably
go with the 6,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna say probably the 6,000. But the price of how much do those things cost? $7,500.
No, 6,000. You can pick them up with your discounts around $4,500, $5,000.
Okay, that's not bad.
The 7,000, you know, is probably a better machine, but that 7,000 is like swinging a garbage can lid full of cement,
Right.
paying $10,000 for that thing. So, you
Yeah.
know, I'm not digging 4 feet down for a goddamn lead shot or something, you know.
Yeah, the 7000 is a better machine, but a bit less practical. Because, like you said, it's huge, it's heavy, and not only that, but it finds targets so deep that you just be digging all day long, and then most of the time they end up being trash, you know.
Yeah.
So
Something
you kind
around,
of got to find your middle ground on what you're looking to do.
yeah. So Grace Mike says something around 1,000. So you've got your Gold Bug 2, you got your Gold Monster, and you got the 24K. Those are the three you're going to choose from. So I'd
I
research
wouldn't
all
go.
of it.
I wouldn't buy anything cheaper than those detectors. Those three are the only three that are going to find you real gold.
Yeah.
Well, again, the Lobo, Tesoro Lobo, it does pretty damn good. I don't even know, is Tesoro still in business?
No, they went out of business long, long time ago.
That's what I thought. You know, but for an older used detector, you can find one of those for cheap enough, you know, price where you can get started on something like that. Those do pretty well. But if you're looking to buy something modern and new, like he said, it's you got the Garrett 24K, the MindLab Monster 1000, and the Gold Bug 2. But the Gold Bug 2 does a really good job, but it is really hard to understand how to run.
It is because it's got Gold Bug 2 has a lot of settings. Gold Bug 2, I think, is running at 71 kilohertz, I think. So it's way up there
Yeah.
in your or megahertz or whatever they call them. So it's very good for, you know, like the shallower stuff.
The hot rocks, and you know, there is
Yeah.
no push a button and discriminate. You literally have 12 different analog knobs that you have to adjust. And if you
And you
don't
do.
know what you're doing, you have to have a large understanding of geology, what the rocks are that you're looking at, and be able to set your machine according to that. You know, and that's why a lot of people like the Gold Monster, because it does a pretty good job of discriminating on its own without all of those settings. But then again, it limits you, you know. If you got real good with the Gold Bug 2 or the 24K with those settings that they have in there, then you're going to be a better detectorist than with a Monster. You're going to find more gold. So it just depends on, do you really want to like go through a college course and learn how to use these things, or you just want to pick one up and find less gold? You know, that's basically the gist of it.
And what's nice about the Gold Bug, I mean, not the Gold Bug, the Gold Monster, it does have the screen on it for ferrous and non-ferrous, which is kind of, you know, you can't totally rely on it, but it is a very good indicator to kind of, you know, give you an
Yeah.
idea on hot rocks or not hot rocks or stuff like
Yeah, and
that.
once you're educated with it, you can match the tone of what you're hearing along with that ferrous or non-ferrous guide, and you know, you can usually be able to pass up on some trash, you know, because it all sounds the same. And then gold definitely sounds different most of the time, unless it's a giant nugget. You know, giant nuggets just scream just like iron does, you know. But most of the time we don't find giant nuggets. We're looking for the smaller stuff. And so that's why the Monster is good. But again, it's with hot rocks and that kind of stuff, or if you've got bedrock that's really hot, it's just going to go off left and right, and there's no way to tune it out.
Yeah, and so you're talking the Dolan Springs. That's the same way with the Meadview and all of that area, Lost Basin, Gold Basin. There's just so many hot rocks that I mean, I've ran the Gold Monster and it's just constantly chat, 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 chat. You know, and you got to turn that thing down to try to balance some of that chattering out of there. But then by doing that, you're going to lose that sensitivity to some of your. But then you kind of, it's the tone, like you just mentioned. So on the Gold Monster, it's the tone that I know people that use them and they find good gold with it, you know. But
Yeah, me too.
I tend to stay away from the Gold Monster. I use the 6000. So
Yeah, well, yeah. If you had a choice, why wouldn't you?
yeah. But I've still
also,
dug down for hot rocks with that.
it's smart to bring, in certain areas, there's certain size gold, right? You can kind of, in this certain creek you're working at, you only find a certain size gold. Usually not giant, not tiny, but a certain size. So what you want to do is have a piece of gold on you that is, say, put it in a plastic bag or in some kind of little, vial without metal on it, and you bury that, and then you listen to the tone, and that way, and you bring it with you not just once or twice to learn it, but you bring it with you on every trip. And you bury it in the ground and you listen to the tone, you figure out how deep you're actually finding gold at, and then you listen to the difference between the hot rocks in the area and what your gold sounds like. And so to me, that's been the best tool, is to make sure that you've got gold about the size of the gold that you're looking to find in that specific area, and just bring a little chunk with you, bring it out there and bury it and see what it sounds like versus the hot rocks around it. And finding gold with a detector is kind of like being a scientist. There's checks and balances. You got to figure out all these different things, or else you're just digging every single target, which typically ends up not getting you much gold.
No, some people dig every target. With the gold monster, though, one thing, even if you get a piece of gold down, it could be 6-7 inches down, and so it will register in the ferrous, side of it all. But as you start to dig down, it'll move closer and closer over to the gold side. I mean,
Right.
when it's that deep, you're reading the other minerals in the ground as well. And
Exactly.
that's why it could have a little chattery. But the closer you get to the gold, it's going all the way to the gold side. So those are the targets I like to dig. When it starts to move more and more towards that gold side, you start to get a bigger and bigger smile.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely. I mean, but, around here, we have so many old square nails that end up in the creeks and stuff from just old mining activity or logging activity, whatever. And unfortunately, the square nails read non-ferrous a lot of times on those, especially the monster. I've been tricked by those so many times that pisses me off. But you end up digging down and thinking it's big old gold nugget. No, it's just a square nail again, because they sound very similar. But the newer nails don't have that same effect. Newer metal has different alloys and stuff in it. So the old iron could actually have gold in it itself, because they didn't refine it. They just had iron and melted it into nails. And as we know, gold wears an iron hat. So back in the day, they weren't going through and removing the gold from the iron. They would just make nails out of it. So there could actually be gold in some of the old iron stuff in small quantities.
Yes, out here on one of the claims, a lot of the gold is attached to iron. And I've never heard wears an iron. I've heard rides an iron horse. But so the gold is attached to the iron. And if you go by just your setting of iron, then you're throwing gold away.
Yeah, could be.
Somebody asked what your favorite pan was.
Garrett makes this pan, and it's got an offset center to it. And it's really light but strong, and you can fit a ton of material in it. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's got an offset center, which it works awesome, and it's really light. I used to use the Proline pans, like the professional, but the pan itself is so heavy that a few pans in, your wrist just can't do it anymore, and then you got to do two hands, which to me, I pan better with just one hand. So, each their own on that, but I really like the Garrett with the off center or offset center.
Is that the one what they call the super sluice?
No. The super sluice isn't a refining pan. You can't, just get that thing down to black sand and gold. It's about, you just fill it up, rinse it down to where you're down to the bottom of it, throw it in a different pan and use it, because it has giant riffles on it. But what's nice about that is you can actually pan material down a lot quicker without the fear of losing gold. But it's not a refining pan. Once you get down to the end of it, you don't want to use that anymore.
That's what I said earlier. I think everybody's got their own pan.
Yeah. I think my other pan is
on the market.
There's some cool ones too. Joey at Adventures in Prospecting, he makes this thing called the hex pan, and it's in the shape of a hex, and it's actually pretty cool. I kind of like it. You can do some cool stuff with different shapes. There it is.
There's a story behind this hex pan.
Yeah.
You know who invented that, right?
Mm-mm.
Travis Brown.
Okay.
He was the original manufacturer of this Pro Gold mining supplies, Pro Gold. The hex pan is actually a good pan, and I like the hex pan. It's got a gripper on it. You talk about one-handed, so it's got that gripper.
Exactly.
But, regular gold, when a round pan, when you're panning, it doesn't actually go to the center like they claim. It goes to the sides, just depending on which way you swirl it. Where the hex is designed to go to the bottom. Yeah. So, it will go to the bottom. But the bad thing about this is it can ride over the top. So you kind of got to be careful or on the sides because there's no riffles here. But I like this. Yeah. But the guy that invented this was Travis Brown, and he kind of got in trouble with people, and he ended up selling. He also did the Trinity gold pan. The Trinity was the one that had that ladder light going up in the middle of it.
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
But
there's another one too, where they have like a little gold trap. I think basically it's just an indent in the pan.
Yeah.
In the front. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of those.
No.
Because you can't refine it. You just end up with a pocket full of black sand and gold, and from there you have to go to another pan to finish it.
Yeah, no, that's not a pan. And the Trinity, that had a lot of weird riffles in it. But he sold both of them out. I think the Pro Gold, or the people, they're in Arizona in Apache Junction. They're the ones that bought the hex from him. Okay. I don't know, but like I say, he got in trouble. So they're the ones that sell that now, that hex gold pan. Oh, it's in your magazine, huh? They advertise in there.
Well, and that's Joey from Adventures in Prospecting outside of Orville. I don't know if he owns it. I don't know the situation there, but he has us advertise for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the guy that owns them. Yeah, right here, the hex. The guy that owns them lives in Apache Junction out here in Arizona, but he's the one that bought the right, that has the rights to that, anyways.
Yeah, I've used them a couple times, and I actually really like them. Like you said, you're right. When you're panning for gold, everybody's got that little shake that they do and the swirling, and that pushes stuff out to the sides. It really does. And that hex pan really helps you get it all in one little pocket right in the middle, Yeah.
Ask Pat about the hex pan when the next time you talk to Pat.
All right.
About the inventor of the hex pan.
Okay. Yeah, I talk to Pat pretty often.
Yeah, he can just tell him, Jack asked me to tell you about this. Tell me the story about the hex pan, the guy that made it.
Will do.
So anyway, we'll just leave that one at that one. Mine Lab has a good pan.
Yeah, they do. Mine Lab pans are pretty good too.
Gold claw. People like gold claws.
I'm not a fan of those myself, but I have a few friends that really are.
I like. So there's three basic gold pans. There's the GPA gold pan, which is this one. I don't have the other one. Then you have the Pro line gold pan, and then you have this one. So the GPA pan has X amount of riffles in it. The Pro line, I think, has one too many riffles. They're smaller and closer together. So my favorite pan, I like the Klondike gold pan. It
What
seems
makes
to have
that?
the right amount of riffles in it, and it has a gripper on the bottom.
Looks just like the Pro Line pan.
So you have the Pro line?
Well, I was saying that Klondike one looks just like the Pro Line pan.
Yeah, Pro line has just one more riffle in it. So
Okay.
it has an extra riffle, and they tend to be
A little
smaller.
too much. Yeah.
They put too many riffles in it. This one
I
doesn't
used
have
to-
enough. That's why I like this Klondike one. So
I used
have
to
more.
love the Pro Line pan, but eventually I figured out it's too heavy for me. So that's why I went to the offset Garrett, because it's so much lighter, but you can still, because of the offset center, you can actually run as much material in it as you can as one of those larger heavy pans. It does really good at putting a bunch in there and refining it without getting all bound up. And it's way lighter. You know what other pan I really like too? Pioneer Mining here in Auburn, California. They have their own pans, which basically this side is riffles, larger riffles, and then some smaller ones here. And they work really well. I like them, and they're nice and light too.
Well, they have that blue one, the finishing pan, I think it is.
Yeah, the blue one, exactly. I really like those. They work super good. They're a little bit thin on the plastic. So if you toss it on a rock or something, you run the risk of breaking it. But then again, to me, a lighter pan is a better pan. I'd prefer to just be a little more careful than have some heavy chunk of plastic, you know?
Oh, yeah. The beta, yeah. I forget how you say that, but that pan, that's that one that has a cone that comes into the cone. They use them over in foreign countries a lot. That's a whole other technique in panning. That's a totally different.
That seems to me like you run the risk of losing a lot of gold unless you actually know what the heck you're doing with it.
Yeah, you have to know. When you see them people do it, it's amazing how fast they can go through it and keep that gold in that type of a pan.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've seen some guys do that on videos and stuff. And I don't think I have the patience for it, you know?
Yeah. Batia. Yeah, whatever those pans are. Anyway, I've collected pans. The only pans I say I've always hated in my life is the ones that look like sluice boxes that you got to rock.
Oh, yeah. No,
The reason I say that, so you put a pan, it might work, you pan it out, but after you pan it all out, what do you got to do? You got to pull the plug in the bottom to put it in another gold pan to pan it.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that was kind of stupid.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I think the point of that is it's like a hand sluice, Say you're in an area where the water flows not enough volume to actually run a sluice box. You grab that thing, refine it down just where there's just black sand, the bottom part, empty it, do it again. So I think that's the point. It never was meant to be a finishing pan. It's meant to replace a sluice when you can't sluice, right? We're talking about the gold hog is what that is.
Well, there's a few of them. There's a few people that make that type of a pan.
Yeah. And so it's just its own specific use, and it depends on where you're at and what you're trying to do. Just like anything, that's what gold mining is figuring out every spot you go to is not like the last one, and you have to figure out where the gold is, and not just where it is, but how to extract it properly. There's a lot to it, and sometimes, because I have good experience, people expect me to just show up somewhere and point, oh, the gold's right there. But that's not the way it is. What makes me a good prospector is testing. Go around, test until you figure it out, until you come up with an idea of, hey, this is what works best in this specific spot, because that's what it's all about.
So this guy that invented the hex, when you used to watch his demonstrations, I mean, God, he was great at it, but that was his pan. So somebody mentioned the banjo pan. Well, if you've watched Mike demonstrate, or his whatever partner demonstrate the banjo pan, excellent. But you go out and try to do it, you don't do it like that. So the manufacturers.
It takes time.
Somebody also asked about the trap, the square pan. That's more like a sluice box type pan.
I don't know, the trap
pan. Got a thing with the thumb. You put your thumb in it, and it's got the squares, and you kind of pan.
I don't think I've seen it.
They're
the banjo pan does really work, but it's your mindset. You can't go into using a banjo pan thinking you're just panning.
No,
you have to figure out the way it's meant to be used and change your mindset to that, because otherwise you're just going to be pissed off at it. But they work very good.
Oh yeah, and it's probably just like detectors. Learn your pan, and it'll be a good for you.
It's true, yeah.
Where you watch all the watch Clint with the gold claw. Man, he'll go through that, captures all the gold. Man, that's great. You watch Mike go through that banjo. Man, that's great. You watch, Doc go through the gold hog. Man, that's great. But man, as soon as you got to take one of them pans, it's like, this don't work good for me. You always go back to what you're used to.
Again, that's because of the mindset. See, they have the proper mindset because they designed it. And so therefore they know what its use is. And until you can get your mind in the right spot to be able to use those things, then it's either a pain in the ass or you can figure it out and do really well with
it. And you just got to use it. They use it all the time, constantly. And they've got that tuned. I mean, I have never in my entire life, there was this guy that used to build dry washers out in New Mexico. He used to go up to the Stanton digs a lot and all that. And I would sit there and listen to his spiel about how great these dry washers were and how they don't lose any gold. And then, I thought, I have never in my entire life ever met a manufacturer that said, don't buy this. It's a piece of shit. It doesn't work right. They all tell you the glories behind them and how magnificent it is. Yeah. So you've got to learn on your own trial and error, and you will find. See, Allen Trees, there's another one. The gold grabber. That was an excellent pan. So learn your pan, enjoy your pan. Everybody's got their favorite pan. That's why there's 15,000 different pans out there.
Yeah, and also like with matting, the dream mat, a lot of guys really like that because it cuts down on cons at the end, and it catches the gold pretty well too. For me, I prefer just a regular style sluice box. I don't mind cleaning up cons because I got the gold cube. I prefer there to be more cons because I feel like you have a chance of, or less of a chance of losing gold. But, some guys really like the dream mat and it works well for them because it's quicker and easier and all that, So it's just up to each person to figure out what their best deal is. Because most of us don't design the way that we mine according to finding the most gold. Most of us do it according to it being comfortable for us, because sometimes finding the most gold, say you're in a clay area, you got to break that clay up really good in a bucket and then rinse it. And there's 5,000 steps before you can even run the material. And so if you're that kind of guy that really wants to do that, go ahead. Most people aren't. Most people just move on from the clay, and whether there's good gold there or not, because it's too hard of work, it takes the pleasure out of it. So I think, that's a big deal too, is are you there for pleasure or are you there trying to get rich?
Yeah, the clay will rob your gold out of your sluice box if you run it. So it depends on your area too, because some areas may have a lot more black sands. Some may have heavier sands in themselves. So each area is different. So what you just said about, I'm old school, so I like miner's moss and expanded metal. That's what I believe in.
Me too, 100%. That's my favorite, especially in a dredge box. But you got to have a couple of riffles up front to catch the big nuggets, a couple riffles up front and the rest, just miner's moss and expanded.
And so what's funny is I tell people, like say the old gold grabber, that was an upright high banker. And the sluice box of that thing was only 12 inches long. Yeah. But yet it would capture the gold because it had the kind of like the gold cube, how it reverses. This reversed and it shot everything towards the back of the box. and it created that boil or bubble effect, dropped the gold out, and then it'd run over. But it
Yeah,
was
I've
had
used
the
them and they work. But like you
and they
said,
did.
the catching area is only that big. You
Right.
know, that's the problem with those is you got to feed it really slow.
And that's
Um,
true. So
yeah,
then I say, look at the gold hog that's 27 feet long, and he's got that special matting in there. Man, if it's got to be 27 feet long to capture all that gold, there's something wrong there. But the funny thing about that is in the very top of his box, what does he got in there? Miner's moss.
right. I love miners' moss. You know, 3M quit making the good stuff,
They
so
did.
it's really hard to find good stuff these days.
Now it's
I've
that
got
Chinese.
3M on a roll, which I'm saving for myself because you can't get it anymore.
Yeah, you get that green Chinese stuff now, but
It's just not flexible enough. You can't clean them out. It doesn't grab the gold as well. You know, really, if someone out there knows how to make miner's moss, there's a market for some good stuff right now because 3M quit making it.
yeah, I don't know why they quit making that for either.
Well, it all comes down to dollars.
I guess. I remember, well, you remember Buzzard? He used to say when he got off the airport in Alaska, that's the first thing he did when he walked out the airport doors was roll up the carpet because it was all that miner's moss.
Right.
And that's what it did. It captures dirt. Well, it captures gold too. So,
Yeah, definitely.
cool the mundo. Wow, we've been yakking for a long time here. Okay, well, why don't you highlight again or tell us about anybody that's come in lately about the your Downeyville event coming up.
Yeah, so like I said, it's a regular old gold show, building full of vendors. We also do training sessions every hour and a half with prolific people like Chris Ralph, Ray Mills, and a lot more geologists, come in and just talk about whatever their topic might be. That's all included in the price as well. You get to mine there in town in some of the richest rivers in California. And not only that, but just the camaraderie of it, because we're all just together in one spot for 4 days. That's really the best part, is just getting to know friends and hanging out. And it's normally there's a difference between an outing and a gold show. Well, this is those two combined, an outing and a gold show. So you get the camaraderie of the outing, the fun of the outing, the family fun of the outing. Kids run around, play. The town's very safe. And not only that, but you get to experience true gold rush history. There's museums that will be open in Downeyville. Most of the buildings there are really old still. Brick walls, and the bar itself is in a really old building. They also have California's longest running magazine or newspaper up there. It's called the Mountain Messenger there in Downeyville. So it's about the history. It's about finding the gold. It's about hanging out with people, and also show up, support the vendors, buy some stuff at better prices that you usually won't be able to. At the gold shows, they always have some kind of thing going on where most of the vendors lower their prices. We have guys that come, like last year, Dave from Gold Bay showed up. He had giant nuggets and all sorts of cool stuff for sale. And that's the other thing too, is we have a lot of big name guys that show up. And so come and meet your heroes. It's really cool. And if you're not a subscriber to the ICMJ magazine, you should be. There's no other magazine like it. We cover legislation and regulatory things, so you can keep up to date on what's happening with the law in mining throughout the nation. And also, our magazine is geared towards people learning how to be better prospectors, whether you're a beginner or a professional. We have writers that will teach you. There's always something more to learn. And our guys are the top-notch guys out there. So you can learn a lot, even if you think you know it all.
No, and it's been around for so long, so and what it comes out every month, and
Yep.
I mean, I'll go through it all, and there might be like, let's just say, I know how to use a GPS, and I could give lessons on GPSs, but yet I may read something in here and say, oh, wow, I never knew that before, or hey, that's kind of cool to add to my arsenals or something like that. So even
Yeah.
if you do think you know it all, you can
You
always
never
learn.
do. And if you do know it all, get a hold of us because we always like to have new writers. And that's the other thing too is we. I like to encourage people that if you're an expert in your field or close to it, feel free to write articles for us, submit them, and if it's something that we run, we'll also pay you around 200 to 250, maybe a little less if it's small, so you'll get paid for it. But we kind of tend to stay away from just stories. Like, hey, today I went gold panning and found this, and it's got to be more technical. We want to have people be able to learn how to become a better prospector from the articles, whether they're a beginner or an expert. It's all about the community. Without the community being involved, the magazine is nothing, because all we are is a representation of you. And so, get involved. Go ahead and submit articles and all that. My email is josh@icmj.com. That stands for International California Mining Journal. And so if you want to share an article with us, let me know. We'll take a look at it. If it's something we run, we'll pay you.
If not, we just say thank you.
Well, and sometimes articles get submitted that don't get run because a lot of times they're just stories, like I said, and sometimes the stories get run, but the stories got to be really good stories.
Yeah.
It's
a magazine that's helping basically. So I think somebody said something, helping you become a better prospector. Like, what is it you're looking for if you're going out metal detecting? What is it you're looking for if you're going out, reading the wash, or how to find gold, and it's different in every area. So if I wrote an article about Arizona, it'd be totally different than you going out in California looking for. What are you looking for? There's different terrains and different rocks and stuff. So
that's what we like, that difference in writers and people sharing their experience to help other people become better prospectors. That's what it's all about. And you don't have to be an expert. You just got to know something that most people don't.
Oh, we better, there you go. We better throw old David up here. Josh is golden to have in our community. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, David. Very cool, man.
Yeah, miners helping miners. So anyways, I've always been fascinated. Like I say, I've always been getting magazines. We used to advertise in there. If you look at some of your old magazines, when we used to have the prospecting store there in Wickenburg, we used to advertise in there. So it's been around a long time.
Since 1931.
I started after that.
It's the nation's longest running and largest magazine that's gold mining related. Most others have knocked off by now. But we're still here thanks to you guys, our subscribers, and the people that contribute.
And I'll tell you, the biggest thing behind this magazine that I like, the biggest thing, and I'm not afraid to say it, I'll compare two magazines together, two prospecting magazines. This magazine actually will give you, it's not political, put it that way. It's not political. That's all you got to say. Yeah. We won't get into that.
We stay away from most political stuff unless it directly has to do with gold mining.
And I don't mean political in the sense of being on politics. I mean, ran by the organization that is just, anyways, we'll let it go with that. It's an excellent magazine. So if you guys don't have subscribe to there. You ought to check into it though. So
Just go to www.icmj.com and you can subscribe there, check it out. We've got a lot of free articles in there too for you to read, whether you're a subscriber or not. Our monthly miners market is also online, and that's for free for everyone to read. So I encourage you, go check it out once a month, go read through. It's basically classified ads that are gold mining related. And that's free every month. You can go to the website and find that. And also I'd like to mention my other business, which is ReinkeGoldMining.com. If you're around here in California and you're looking to join the community of mining, whether you know what you're doing or not, we're good for beginners or experts. We've got some really good claims, and I handpick just about every one of them myself. And so it's $15 a month or $160 a year, and you get access to everything. All of our claims, unlimited access. You never have to tell anyone where you're going or when. You just go do it. You keep all the gold you find. And then we do monthly outings too, which are great. Sometimes we'll bring together 100 people and hang out for the weekend. I'll do free barbecues where I go get like 20 tri-tips. And, people bring in sides and stuff, and and that doesn't cost anything more. That's all a part of the membership. So if you're around California or want to be, check us out, ReinkeGoldMining.com.
cool. And you guys are the subscribers. I see you say you're a subscriber. That's cool. All you subscribers have been getting a copy since the early days. Yes. So all you subscribers, if you don't check into the magazine, it is a wonderful magazine. And I did give a little rant there. So Terry, I could rant. That you heard my rants. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf here. I'm trying to be more mellower.
That's good. It's bad for your heart to not be.
I know it is too. All right,
and
so
plus, we all need to be promoting unity rather than the things we don't like. Because if we can come together as one with one voice, we would be a lot more efficient at fighting the powers that be that want to take away our rights.
can you do some articles on navigating my land matters, the diggings LR2000? The LR2000 doesn't exist anymore. It's now MLRS.
Yeah. Well, there's still the same basic functions as the LR2000. They're still there, same thing. But yeah, the MLRS. And that's something that, one of my things that I don't want to call myself an expert, but I'm really good at is researching and filing mining claims. And so that's actually another part of the Reinke mining group is that I created a tutorial that lays it out for you step by step how to use these tools in internet and understanding master title plats, land status, how to read topo maps, all that's in there. So as a part of membership, you get that tutorial. As far as the MLRS goes, it's kind of a messed up tool, just like anything that the BLM puts out. But I would love to create an article on that. And I've been thinking about doing it here pretty soon too, because I'm now educated enough on it. It's only a year old, 2 years or something.
The MLRS, yeah.
Yeah. So, I've got enough knowledge of it now to where I probably could put an article out like that. Or if someone else is better at it than me, feel free to submit an article.
Well, they've changed it. The MLRS is good. You can still go type in the LR2000 and it'll still guide you into the MLRS. But they had lawsuits, so they had to take that down for a while. So now what you don't see is a lot of who owns the claims anymore.
And that sucks. Because say you're going to the BLM website is only a small part of it. You need to pull those claims and then go to the county and research what's been filed, right? But without their names, you can't really search by claim name or this, that. You have to have the name of the person. So
Yeah.
it really made it difficult, but you can call BLM with the claims that you're interested in learning about, and they will give you those names over the phone.
They're supposed to, yeah, because it's
Yeah.
public info. Or you can just go down to the state office, the main office where the BLM is at, in the
And
public
do it all
records division,
Yeah.
and pull those files. And plus, because you want to see, because inside of their files it may say that it's in what township, range, and section, southwest, and there may be what we're at in the southwest. So you actually need their maps, and that's where the
Exactly.
county comes in handy also, to see how they
Yeah.
laid their maps out to know what is available around there.
Well, and the BLM makes a lot of mistakes on the MLRS too. They screw stuff up left and right. I've got claims that sometimes are listed, sometimes aren't. It's a huge pain in the ass.
They are.
Because they're not accurate. They can, September 1st rolls around and you paid your fees, but it doesn't show you paid them until 6 months out. So then you've got someone who's top filed you because they didn't go to the county and look up the fact that you filed your notice of intent or small minors fee waiver. And so, really the MLRS, the BLM system is just a starting point. You start there, gather as much information you can, and then you go to the county and pull the records, because the title of a mining claim isn't held with the BLM. It's held at the county. And that's what really matters. So, just hopping on the MLRS is not the full story.
Well, I mean, it's good because like every state's different. Arizona, I think, is 90 days, so you can file your mining claim or stake it, but you don't really have to file it for 90 days. And then that's when you're going to get in problems with other people coming in and backlogging the dates
And there's no way to disprove that. There's no way to be like, I was there first. There's no way to prove that because it's word against word. So a lot of times what people do is they backdate it themselves, backdate
Exactly.
it to 80 days and,
Right.
and turn it in. And
Or
that
just
kind of, which is, I'm not saying to do that because it's not by the letter of the law,
no.
but that's, what a lot of people actually do is just backdate it themselves so that no one else can backdate them. Because I've actually seen it happen many, many times where some guy picks up a claim and then someone else comes behind him and is pissed that he missed it. And he's like, oh, they're still within the 90 days. I'll backdate them by a week. And
Right.
there's no way to prove that you were there before them or not. So the date that is the oldest, the most prior date is the one that gets the claim. So
Well, the law of that says he who locates on the ground first wins. But if you take pictures when you put your post in the ground, because pictures do have a fingerprint and they do have you can pull up them dates and stuff like that when that was all taken. So you should always take a picture. But
that's all manipulatable, that won't stand up in court.
That's true in the meta tags and stuff. But
what will stand up in court is say you had say I'm going to Forest Hill area to go stake a claim, right? And I have a gas receipt from that day of me getting gas in Forest Hill shows that I was there. That'll win, right? But then again, this all goes to court. How many people actually go to court over mining claims? Not very many,
No,
because it's a big pain in the ass.
that's why some people just join clubs and all that. But I know you guys got these here. These BLM puts these out. Your land statuses are must for. But anyway, and so some people say they mention it. They go to the diggings, and so I know you have these other sites out there. There was another one, the guy that did all the CDs, the mapping and all that. They were really good. Footprints. The footprint CDs were an excellent thing. But where do they all get that information from? They're all getting it from BLM because they themselves don't put it out. So they all got to go to BLM's website to get that info to put on.
So for that reason, I would recommend 100% staying away from the diggings and Mine Land Matters. Because they're only a reproduction of the information that the BLM sends out. And the BLM's information can constantly be wrong. So when the BLM is wrong, My Land Matters And the other one, the Diggins, is wrong too. So again, the only right way to get the information is to start with the MLRS and then go to the county and research what's been done. It's the only right way to do it. Otherwise, you're putting yourself in a position where you could be jumping someone's claim, or and maybe it's not intentional, but that can create a lot of strife in a person's life because people take that stuff pretty seriously still. So if you're looking at researching and staking mining claims, start with the MLRS, forget about Mineland Matters and the Diggins, and go to the county once you have your information from the MLRS.
Yeah.
Which is the county recorder's office, by the way. You can look all that up there.
County recorders. The one thing about at the MLRS too, when you search, you can search active, but then you can also search closed. And so you can go back in time to see how many people has had, like say some people, there's a lot of people selling these claims. They're buying a claim off the internet. And I tell people, do your due diligence. You should have township, range, and sections, even the name of all that info. Go to BLM's website. You can see when it was filed, when it was updated, how long they had it, and then look at closed and see how many times that's been there. Is it a brand new worthless claim that somebody's going to buy and you're going to be unhappy about it tomorrow?
Well, and sometimes a really good claim will be dropped because people die or they just give up or whatever it is. And then, these guys that sell claims, which I used to be one years ago, but I was not aggressive like they were, I wouldn't just jump on.
Was you doing it on eBay?
Yeah.
What was your name?
Nevada County Gold.
Oh, okay. Remember?
I'm not one of them guys.
Remember Golden Girl Mining?
Oh yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
I know all of those people.
Okay. So yeah, I used to start that back in those days too, when there was only a few of us that started out doing that type of stuff, and it got way out of hand. And Golden
really
Girl
did.
Ruined it for everybody.
Here in California, it's actually illegal to sell mining claims as a business without a real estate broker's license. Okay.
Oh.
So that's what ended my career. Is I got hit by a lawsuit from the state, which I had no idea that was the case. And so from there, I transitioned into doing the group and by the grace of God, left into the ICMJ, and the Harn family that owned it before me are some of the best people I've ever met in my life. They really are just really great people. So I feel really blessed that they chose me to take over the magazine and do it. And it was kind of a rough, bumpy thing there for the first year. But we're to the point now to where I've got it pretty good. I actually do all the design in the magazine myself. I used to hire people to do it, but they didn't care enough. They'd make mistakes and just get it done to get paid, And so now I'm the one who designs the magazine every month, and it's gotten a lot better since I've done that.
Yeah. Well, you do an excellent job of it. We enjoy it. So continue that up.
Will do.
You guys are talking about people removing posts. That's just something that you're going to have to deal with. If you have a mining claim, I know people, if they're wood, campers are going to take them to burn them. If they're PVCs, they're excellent targets. People love to shoot at them.
Not only that, but you have the tree hugger sort that don't like nails in a tree, so they'll come and pull your signs down just because you put a nail in a tree. But here in California, you don't have to mark your corners. You just have to have, you just have to have the Discovery Monument, which has its own rules, has to be at least a foot deep into the ground, 3 feet tall, at least 2x2 posts, and it has to contain a jar with the original location paperwork. So the map of the claim and your name and all the information that goes with that.
And those disappear too.
I'm pretty sure Nevada makes you mark the corners every time. I don't know if
Arizona. Yeah.
But in California, a load claim has to be marked that way as well. You have to have a center line And then you have to have 4 corner posts along with a monument at the face of the line. So load claims are different. Placer claims, you just put up the discovery monument with the paperwork in it and you're done. You don't need to go mark all the corners, which is great because in California, most placer claims are on a river, which is in a canyon like that. How are you going to get up there to mark your corner? You know,
yeah.
You know, and who's going to know that you didn't? Because no one's going up there.
Yeah, even here the loads are different. We don't have to go through all of that type of stuff. It's basically you're checking off a placer or a load, and you just got to mark your 4 corners. And a lot of people put their discovery marker on one of their corners, and so it's just because it's easier to identify from so many feet to here to there to that. And
right, meets and bounds.
Terry says the journal looks a lot better now.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. I've worked hard at trying to bring some changes. You know, I never wanted to change the content because the content is a winning combination. But the design of it and readability, I feel we've done a pretty good job of making all that better.
Claim owners are responsible for replacing their markers. That is true, but it's also up to the individual to make sure they're not on a mining claim.
Yeah, and when it comes to people taking your markers down, it's called due diligence. You, as the claim owner, are responsible for that. So if someone else takes your monument or corner post down, it is up to you to replace them.
Okay. Claims can only be 20 acres now, or can they be bigger? The claim we got is 80 acres, and we turned it into 20.
You can have bigger claims. I think the issue that you're talking about is, so there's a rule that says only one person can have 100% interest in each 20-acre parcel. And so per person on the claim, you have to have another person per 20 acres. So if you're 21 acres, then you have to have 2 people's names on the claim. Even if you sell it and transfer it to someone else, you still have to have 1 name per 20 acres. Yeah. That's a rule that was not enforced up until about a year or 2 ago. You used to be able to just sell them to one person. You still had to file them with 1 person per 20 acres. But until it's a proven claim, which means you've had geologists come out and it's actually you go through the process of proving your claim being viable, you're not allowed to do that. You have to have 1 person per name, or I'm sorry, 1 person, 1 name per 20 acres. You know, and they never used to enforce that, but recently they've started to.
Yeah, a load claim can only be 20 acres. A placer claim, you can have up to 160 acres as long as you have your 8 locators. Again, 1 person per 20 acres. It used to be years ago, you could file 160 acres as 1 claim with your 8 locators, but then they changed that quite a few years ago and made it where you had to have 20 acres. So it used to be if I had 160 acres, I only had to pay that $165 every year to keep that claim. Now they're doing it. It's every 20 acres. So now it costs over $1,300 to keep that claim, which is
they changed that about what, 8-9 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a long time ago. Yeah. So everybody, when they did that, they just took the heart out of everything and let everything else go.
And you know, it's like, why file a 20-acre claim if it costs the same as a 160-acre claim? So everybody was just filing these giant 160-acre claims. And so now that it's per 20 acres, the fees, you know, it's more likely that people are to cut it down to just what they're looking for, which I'm okay with that. I don't like paying more money, but at the same time, I kind of understand why they did that one.
Yeah, you just like to take in as much ground as possible. So.
Yeah. Let me turn the light on here real quick. There we go.
Oh, it's getting dark there for you. I guess it's getting dark out here, so you guys got to be dark there.
Getting close.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, hey, all right there, Josh, man. I think we're setting records here on time frames, man. Lot of good interactions, lot of good yeah, info.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. And, feel free to call me if there's anything I can ever help with. Especially if it has to do with gold mining here in California. I'm your guy. I can hook you up with whatever you need.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll sign off. You can hang around, Josh. I'll talk to you off air a sec if you want.
Yep.
Okay, you guys all take care. Have a fantastic evening. Thanks, Josh, for hanging with us. Get the Mining Journal. If you guys don't have a copy of it, get it and be happy. So you guys take care till our paths cross again next week. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate y'all. Goodbye.